Why, hello there. On this week's episode of Love Travel, Live Travel, we're diving deep into business cards. Then we're going to be rolling down the river with an itinerary that you're going to have some of your clients lining up for. We've got great, exciting news from Universal and much, much more, along with some inspiration from our Velma. All of that and, again, more, starting right now. Hello there, I am Joshua Harrell, and this is my co-pilot, Jason Block.
Howdy, everybody.
How's it going? How is your Friday going? If you are joining us live, please let us know in the chat. Welcome to Love Travel, Live Travel. I almost got it backwards. That's the typo shirt, right? Welcome to the show. If this is your first time, please stick around. You will have a good time, I can guarantee that. And those of you in the audience that have been our repeat visitors, we're still trying to, we're going to impress you. We got lots of stuff going on. So you want to stay tuned, but definitely if you are joining us live, keep it going in the chat. And as Jason just pointed out to me, if you are on your desktop version of YouTube while you're watching the show right now, make sure you have it on live chat versus top chat, because you might miss out on some chat, some bottom chat.
Yeah,
versus top chat.
You don't want to miss out on the less than ideal chats. Last week we were doing the show and I'm wondering, why aren't I seeing the chats that Josh was seeing? And I realized I had top chat on. It was only showing the very best of your messages. How it figures that out, I don't know. But yeah, you make sure you have live chat. Start at the top, little drop down.
I think to be a top chat, you have to chat a lot more than once.
Maybe.
So
yeah, maybe.
Or you have to put a little comment in.
Yeah.
So I have to say that there's a lot happening on the desk right now.
It's making me feel a little...
Kind of like your office.
It's cluttered. My office is pristine. I don't know what you're talking about.
My office is not. So we have some stuff going on here. What's this about?
Well, as you know, I was on the Icon of the Seas a week or so ago, and I brought a little swag that we could give away. Lovely hat, lovely Royal Caribbean beach blanket, which is kind of cool. You could take it for yourself. You can give it to a client, however you want to do it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and just to be clear, you actually wore this and you laid out on this. So
it is not a game worn. It is not a game worn or beach worn blanket or hat. These are an extra.
Okay, so how does one win this?
I don't know. Let's attach it to our poll, maybe.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go to the poll.
Let's do that.
All right. Do you want to do the question for the poll?
I don't remember what the poll is, so you do it.
Well, before we do that, this is Love Travel, Live Travel, and just if this is your first time, this is a show for those of us who love travel and who have chosen to live and work and eat and breathe travel.
That's right. Now,
So we didn't want to do all that in the title, so it was.
Did we all choose travel, or did travel choose us?
Is that the poll question?
That is not the poll question. I do remember that. I feel like it chose me at times, and I bet most of you do too.
Well, you were kind of born into it.
Well, maybe that's why I feel
I feel like you were born into
But despite my best efforts to run away from it, it kind of like came back and swallowed me.
We kind of gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that isn't the poll question, but if you wanna let us know, we're down for that.
Yeah.
But our poll question is, I just lost it. Where did it go? There it is. All right. Where is the first place you go when entering a theme park. So where's the first place that you go when you enter a theme park? And really this comes down to this week, we finally heard more details around Epic Universe from Universal, or UDX, Universal's Destinations and Experience.
Right.
And one of the things that I found odd was they sent out an email with some social assets that you
Don't
could
talk
use.
about this.
Yeah, you can only use this for this one day, and then after that, no more. So that was kind of unique, but I get it. They don't, they want to make sure that there's still time to travel.
Yeah.
So, and visit their parks. There's still plenty to do,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to go too far with it.
Right.
But yeah, they announced 50 attractions, entertainment, dining, shopping, all opening 2025.
Yeah.
3 new hotels, different lands or worlds,
Yeah.
portals. Are they calling them portals? Yes.
No, that's Garden.
That's called what?
That's something else.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
Okay. I wonder where I got that from.
I don't know.
I don't know why because I am not the one that retains that. But where is the first place that you go when you go to a
It
theme
totally
park?
depends on what theme park we're talking about.
Okay.
For instance,
Okay.
if it is the Magic Kingdom, we go. I'm almost always there with my family, right?
Yeah.
So we go to the Sleepy Hollow for breakfast, where they have these like Belgian waffles with Nutella and strawberries and bananas and blueberries, and it's amazing. It's the best thing in the park, if you ask me. But so that's Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
If we're talking a general theme park, it's usually Beeline for whatever the biggest roller coaster is that has the longest line.
Gotcha.
Right? So we'll go to that. If it's Universal, it's a toss-up. That's where the children I make them arm wrestle to see if we go into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, or do we go over and ride some of the coasters in Islands of Adventure.
Islands of Adventure.
Yeah. So whoever wins the arm wrestle contest, that's where we go. What about you?
I don't have a strategy.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
I don't have a strategy.
Do you just talk to some little old lady as you're walking in? Like, where should we go? Where are you going?
No, there was a study done. I used to work in retail, and there was a study done that when you walk into a store, you generally go to the right.
Right.
And I find that that's how I do theme parks too. I go to the right.
Go to the right.
Yeah. So so sometimes that doesn't work out in your favor. Now, if there is a specific roller coaster or something new, I do want to try to get there, but I'm not about like getting there so bright and early that there's a massive crowd on the entrance. That's not my thing.
Right. Yeah. I've always so many times we've tried to be first in.
Yeah.
Never.
Just doesn't happen.
Never. And I'm convinced whatever time they post, they must open the actual like parking lot hours before that, because there's thousands of people ahead of us, and I'm like, we were here 2 hours early, and we're still number 5,000 in line.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Well, let's pop over to the chat and
Yeah.
see if we've got some answers. So I already saw one when I went to scroll. That's going to be fun. World Via Chris, producer Chris, is in the studio here. Hello from Roswell, Georgia. Happy Friday. Alan Granza, happy Friday. Daniela Huska, happy Friday. Laura De Vega, happy Friday. Jeff Bartlett, howdy, happy Friday. Shannon McCloskey, happy Friday, everyone. Oh my goodness. Michelle Wicks-Cipher, hello all. Melissa Gonterman, hi. Alan Granza, he goes for snacks.
Okay.
Okay. That is not where I would go, because I feel like I'm going to get ripped off. I don't know. Like, you get me with that popcorn bag, I am sorry. It better be a really special snack. But having been to a theme park with Alan, I can say he probably does get the best snacks. Now, Quality Travel said the restroom.
It's practical advice.
That is really practical advice.
and-
I'm going to write that down.
If you're with more than 3 or 4 people, you're almost assured that that's going to be your first stop. Somebody
Pee-pee
is
break.
going to be, yeah, I need to go to the bathroom.
I love it. Worldview Chris, he is with Alan, concession stand. Alan said, or to take pictures before it gets crowded.
Yeah, that would be my wife's. That's Jillian's go-to.
Is to take
Before we go
pictures.
anywhere, we're getting some photos,
Well, I'm going to...
which everyone loves.
I'm going to tack on to that
Yeah.
with Jillian and Alan because...
Yeah.
But especially if you go to an Orlando theme park,
Yes.
come the afternoon, everybody looks ridden hard and put up wet.
Oh, yeah.
So let's
You don't want
get
your
let's get
family photo.
some morning photos where we look fresh
Absolutely.
and we smell fresh too. If we're gonna
Yes.
get all
Yes.
tight, by the end, like if you stay for the fireworks and you've had a whole day there, everybody looks like they've been at a rave, and those are not pictures that need to be anywhere.
You got the kids just completely passed out and they're drooling and
blue
sunburned and
blue tongues. They were like
Yeah.
eating something from Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Daniela said, "Pick up a map of the park." That's another practical.
Oh, okay.
I could see her doing that. Erica Worldvia said, "Gift shop. Give me all the tchotchkes." And do you know what? I don't think I've ever seen tchotchkes actually spelled out. I used to work at Party City,
yes.
and that in and of itself there should be some kind of sound effect for that.
We're gonna have to come back to that.
But I had never heard the term tchotchke, and there was an aisle that was called the tchotchke aisle, and I was in charge of that aisle.
You were like the tchotchke department.
Yeah, that was my department. Yeah, I was not balloons, but I was tchotchkes.
You got to work your way up to balloons. I
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah. Melissa said, depends on the park and who I'm with. Usually the ride with the longest line during the day. That totally makes sense.
There we go, Melissa.
Michelle said, Wizarding World of Harry Potter would always be the first thing I want to do and last. So she likes to do a little, come on back.
Yeah. Avoid the midday crowd.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Heather said, hello from North Carolina. Hello. Good to see you. And Bill said, my general rule is to go to the left. So he's going against the grain.
Does this surprise anybody?
I'm going to the right. I'm going to the right. Bill, to the left. To the left,
Smart,
to the
Bill.
left.
Smart.
Yeah. Terry
That's
said,
just to get away from you, though.
yeah, he's like, I don't want to be on that side of the park.
Right.
Terry said, Jason, then you will love the Texas-shaped waffle at the Beeman at the Dallas Road Show. Tuesday, we're going to be in Dallas.
Challenge accepted, Terry.
Is it the song, dun, 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 dun? Was that the Dallas theme song?
I think so.
Dun, dun, dun. Who shot JR?
I don't know.
It was his wife, I think.
Okay.
Was it his wife? I can't remember. And Bill is joining us with today's National Day, and it is National River Day.
Well, that's fitting.
That is fitting because we're going to talk about a river itinerary.
That's right.
So he asked the question, like it's his show. What is your favorite? What is your bucket list river cruise destination?
Only one poll a day, Bill.
Yeah, I know. Like, do we need to have a pre-production call with Bill? I think we do.
I think we do. He is kind of like an official
Yeah.
cast member of
Bill, you're a part of the cast. If we, team, when we get ready for credits at the end of the show,
Bill needs a credit.
Bill needs a credit in the show. But he is asking, what is your favorite bucket list river cruise destination? And Michelle said doing wine river cruise in France in November, so I am counting that for National River Day.
Very
And Getaway by TJB. Hello from Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Nice. Hey there.
We've got quite the crowd.
I know some first timers too. At least to the chat. I don't recognize a few of the names.
Are you a chat virgin?
Oh, can you say that on YouTube on the interwebs? is general audience programming.
It is. Make sure you note that this is adult only when you post this. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's exciting. We tend to talk about theme parks a lot because a lot of us we like theme parks.
fans.
I mean, we are fans, and I've become a very Disney-oriented fan with a collection of castles in my office that is getting ridiculous.
It's
I went from shoes to castles.
It's bordering on sickness, but it's cute.
It's cute. There we go. I like that. It's cute. But there's so much going on in travel that it's not just about a theme park.
No, of course not.
I do like the strategies and there's what I think is interesting about the theme park business, and I think the same thing with ocean cruising. That like you were on the Icon of the Seas, the biggest ship that's been made. I mean, people are MSC's making the biggest port in the world. Everybody's going bigger. The theme parks are always adding something. So I now know the park that I went to in the 1980s is not at all what it is today. There are too many nooks and crannies.
You're right. It's almost the point. And it's not just theme parks. It is cruise ships. It's even a lot of destinations. The experience you have today will be different than the experience you have next year.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic for those of us in the industry because it means there's never, you went there last year, so what? Go again. Go somewhere new. But you can go back to the same place and it may not be the same experience.
Right.
So that's it. Double-edged sword, though. That means there's always stuff to keep up with. So, that's a good problem. That's a good problem.
Thank you, theme park people and ship builders for keeping us on our toes. There's not just one experience, right?
No.
Well, we need to figure out the swag here. We got a swag item here. So, how are we going to figure out the winner of this?
Let's.
Do you have
okay?
a trivia?
What is your personal favorite theme park? I think I know the answer, but
So are we asking them, and then
I'm
they
asking
have to?
you. What's your personal favorite theme park?
It's Magic Kingdom.
Okay, so since Joshua, he enjoys the Magic Kingdom. It's his personal favorite, and he likes to go to the right. So the first person to drop into the chat, the first shop or attraction, first building, once you enter the main gates at Magic Kingdom, what is it? On the right. First on the right.
I know there's a restaurant, but there's something else right before there. Okay. All right, so that's going to be who gets to win the swag. And, hey, Aurelia, if you're tuning in right now, we're going to have to ship something out by the end of the day. I just want to give her a heads up, just so she's prepared for it. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Over in the chat, Alan said that the show just went PG-13.
It did a little bit, yeah.
It did. I don't know where you guys are, where your head's at. Michelle corrected me. It wasn't JR's wife. It was his mistress. I missed that.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that. Alan said Town Square to meet Mickey is the first. Attitudes and Latitudes said it's Tony's. Melissa said Town Hall. And Bill has put the photo store in.
Put the what in?
The photo store. So when you get past the turnstile, there's a photo store, not when you get underneath. Wow.
We're gonna go to the official Magic Kingdom map here for this because I don't want any disputes.
It'll be a ruckus. But while he does that, we have some postcards. Postcards. We like postcards. So we are trying to bring postcards back. Music that I've got to compete with. If you are traveling anywhere in the world, please send us a postcard, and we would love to read it on air. Today, we have 2 postcards. The first one is a very interesting one. It almost feels like a piece of wood veneer. And it's Aloha from Texas Rebecca. Just here with sunshine and rainbows supporting Maui strong as they rebuild from the fires. Love, Steve and Rebecca. And I think that's Hanama Bay. Rainbows are always free. There we go. Thank you so much, Rebecca and Steve, for thinking about us. We'll get that up on the wall behind us here. And let's see, we have, this is all in German, but it looks gorgeous. This is hello from festive Germany. We are enjoying the sights, smells, and flavors of Christmas as only Germany could do it. So far, Frankfurt has had the largest Christmas market, but we haven't made it to Nuremberg yet. We can't wait to see what is in store for us there, and that came from Jeff and Allison Bartlett. Thank you guys for sending us postcards on your Christmas market river cruise. Always nice to hear from you. And I don't know if you've been following them on social media, but they've been doing some cool things with media and helping to build their brand and their presence in their market. So very proud of you guys. I've definitely been tuned in. So thank you guys for sending postcards.
Cool. Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Those will get on the wall. And while I kind of reach back,
Yeah.
I'm reminded
Yes.
that, summer is coming. I mean, I know we're in winter, and in Atlanta we kind of skip over spring.
Yeah.
But there's holidays coming up. We're gonna be, doing our things. I think you're even doing you're doing Africa, aren't you, this year?
Yes.
Yes. So, there's going to be times when we can't be together. But the show must go on, right? That's what they say. And sometimes producer Paul will step in and with his sequin jacket. That's great. But if I am not here, I have brought a substitute. And this is me, and he is available for your entertainment. He has a nice big ring on. He is ready to go. So I just, whenever you need me, I'll be there. So you just kind of set it there. And maybe, I just thought, maybe I could have a puppet too. And producer Christopher could be here, and he could be like,
Wow.
Yeah? Don't know what to
you've
say
given us
after
a lot.
that?
Yeah.
A lot to process there?
It is a lot to process. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Great. Now I have you looking over my shoulder all the time. That's... I love it.
But we need one for you because you're the one that's going to Africa and stuff like that. So what do I do when you're not here?
I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure something out.
Okay. All right. So did we get an answer did we get an official answer?
Well, there's. Do we have an official answer, Chris? What's the official answer?
It's Town Square Theater, technically.
To the right?
Yes.
The first thing after the turnstile?
First building.
First building?
Yes.
I don't know. Is it?
Yes, it is. According to
All right.
the
So
I
we're
don't
in
know.
a technicality
we have some
there.
we have some disagreements even in the room here. So
Wow.
we will come back to that because, and I can't use the Mac.
Oh.
This 2 fingers, 3 fingers, like.
All right. We can sort that out.
I mean,
We can sort that out.
Yeah.
All right. So Alan, who knows his parks pretty well, he said it's technically guest services.
that's
to the right.
Yeah,
at
there's
the
no
gate
name
before.
for it, but it's where you can pick up a wheelchair and
And also
So forth.
your
But
like an
Christopher-
anniversary badge
Right.
and
Well,
all
that's
those
to
things.
that's to the left. Well, you could do that part too.
Oh, that is to the left.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, sorry.
But Christopher is correct. The first like named building is the Town Square Theater.
okay.
So I don't know. We'll have to parse the responses there and figure out who wins. We'll let you know. But thank you for playing. Yes, the bill and the stroller renters. Yes, you can do all that right there.
Okay.
The stroller rentals though really is underneath the railroad, right? That's where I always get them. I don't know. Maybe you can get them at the other place too.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move.
That was a lot.
Let's
okay.
move Who thought that was going to be so difficult? Not me.
Well, Bill said the first state the
This is
first
the
the
first
first
rule.
building is the train station.
This is the first rule of a contest. Don't ask a question that you don't already know the answer to. We've learned that together.
Yes. Woo! Don't do that again. Okay. I did hear a little chime in my ear coming in from Tyler, Texas. I think that is our Tyler Rose, Miss Velma Tollison. How are you doing today?
I am very well. How are you?
Velma.
You know what? It's been real. It's been a real something already. So I am so glad to see.
You're a little contest challenge today, aren't you?
Yes. It's too much activity over the swag here, and not necessarily. I don't know. There's just too many options. It depends on what do you consider what's the start of the park, right? I don't know. Anyway, what's been going on in your world, Velma?
Well, it's been a busy week. I've been talking to a lot of agents this week about, of course, growing their business, growing their sales. It's not always about growing sales. Sometimes it's growing personally. We talk about a lot of different types of growth, but one area that we're talking about this week is influence. Do you know what that is, Joshua?
Influence?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's how you impact others, how you are perceived by others, and are you able to influence them?
Another way to put that is, what kind of role model are you?
Ooh.
Ooh, yes. And so if you want your friends and family to take your travel agency business seriously, you need to influence them. You need to have a good role model to show them of why you should be taken seriously.
So give me an example of that.
I had an agent contact me this week that, we had talked about this subject a few days ago, and she was excited. She said, I see what you're talking about. I planned an 18-day trip to Europe for my family, and it was great, and got it all finished and presented it to them. They were so impressed that my mother had a friend reach out and wanted her to give me a request for a cheap trip to Spain. And my mom said, no, my daughter will not do a trip like that. She is a professional. And this agent was so excited because her mother was advocating for her.
Yes. So, creating evangelists for you, we talk about websites and your online presence working around the clock, even while you're sleeping, helping you build your audience, right? But it really comes down to, how within your network, your circle of influence, how do they perceive you, and can you turn them into evangelists? And I know a lot of people who do some really cool things, and they don't want to be, they don't want to brag, so they're not, so they like downplay things. But
I don't approve of that. I believe in bragging.
you believe in bragging.
I do. I definitely, you know what? If you don't believe in brag on yourself, Who could you count on to do it for you? You can count on yourself.
Yeah. And what I always like to say, and you know, I talk to myself a lot.
Yes, I've noticed that.
We'll address that later, that comment later. But
So, do you talk to your doll version of yourself, or
no, he's new. We haven't gotten that
Check.
far yet in our relationship.
The doll answers. The doll talks. The doll answers.
hearing voices?
No, but I will, you know, I'll you know, in the shower while I'm getting ready, you know, I will practice, you know, what some would call an elevator pitch. You know, it just things, ways that I can make it easier for me to talk about something, because essentially what I want to do is I want to put the words in those people within my network. I want to put the words in their mouth, because otherwise, left to their own devices, they might say, "Oh, he does that cute thing and works in travel." And no, I want you to be out there banging the drum and getting me some business.
That's true. That's true. Yes,
And so Velma approves of bragging.
I do.
Well.
I do. I call it promoting yourself.
Yeah, I think Velma makes a fair point. If you're not willing to clearly communicate your value prop, right? If you're not willing to clearly state, hey, I am pursuing this as a professional, I'm building a real business, I'm serious about this, and I am building great expertise. Like she said, who else is going to say it if you're not willing to say that, right? Especially people that you know. So I think this idea of influencing people in your network is that first key thing to do on your business journey, is developing that confidence to clearly articulate what you do. And like you said, to arm them with the words. Like, give them the ammo that you want them to use as they're going out into the world.
Yeah.
So I think Velma's right. Like, if you want to call it bragging, fine, but you know, be confident.
That's right.
Don't feel bad about saying this is what I do, and you know, you can be very excited as you share that with people. Right?
So,
Like, isn't this cool? Listen to what I'm doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is cooler than what you do.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't need to get competitive, like confrontational.
You don't want to do that. No.
But one of the things I have observed is that it's, you know, especially if you're a solopreneur, you have to find that confidence within yourself. But sometimes if you can find something to latch onto to kind of help pull you up, that is very helpful. And I think something that I've observed is that oftentimes an agency owner does not think, especially if they're just getting started, they're not thinking of it as a profession, and they just look at it as a service they provide. If you think of it as your profession, whoo, shoulders go back, ready to peacock a little bit. That's my peacock. That's my feathers.
That.
You picked up on that? I love it.
I did.
So the word of the weekend on all through the week is influence.
Influence.
Yeah?
Influence. Yes, yes.
The good kind, not while driving.
All right. Why did he have to go there? I don't know. Yes.
I thought it was pretty funny, though, really.
Just popped into my head.
Do you realize that I think we keep Velma around just because she humors us? Like, I feel like when she
That is not the reason we keep
when she disconnects from us, she's like, oh my gosh, who are these? Just two blokes sitting on purple velvet chairs. That's all this is. No, I thank you for bringing us Great advice, Velma, as
Absolutely.
always. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Are you going to do anything fun?
Not really.
Yeah, girl.
And there you go.
For me, fun is just resting, reading, playing with my crazy dog, and nothing that maybe you would think was fun, but for me, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I think playing with, you got a giant German Shepherd named Jack. I think he would be a heck of a lot of fun. So you have a wonderful weekend, and
Thanks,
we will
Velma.
see you next week, okay?
All right. Bye.
Take
Bye,
care.
Velma.
Bye. Influence.
Influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And it's free.
it is free.
I didn't even think about saying
right.
that. Like, it is free. Like, people are they'll talk about paid advertising, marketing materials, websites. If you can't influence your network,
Yeah,
start there.
absolutely.
That's a great place to start.
Absolutely.
Popping over to the chat, you know,
Yeah.
I mentioned that you're going to Africa,
Yeah.
and Michelle is talking a little bit about trying to get people to stop just saying Africa because
Yes.
there's a ton of countries.
Yes.
But you are going to more
There-
than
there
one.
are.
You are going to more than one country in
Yes.
Africa. Yeah.
3 of them. We're going to Egypt first for
Okay.
only a few days. I'll only be there for a few days. Part of our group will be going for a little bit longer, but then the bulk of the time between Kenya and Tanzania.
Fantastic.
So that's looking forward to it for sure.
Are you looking forward to the flight? Because
Not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much. It's
I-
pretty much a day there and a day back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Hawaii for the first time this year,
Yeah.
and I can't even be excited because it's that flight.
Child's play.
Yeah. I haven't gotten up to your level. I didn't grow up in
No,
this.
that's a long flight from here, Hawaii. It is. It is.
Oh my goodness. All right. So one of the things
Yes.
that we were talking about influence and having confidence. One of the marketing tools that I think is very underrated, and I've been in marketing for a long time, for years. I think people go wrong with business cards
Oh, goodness, yes.
in a big way.
Yes.
In a big way. First, I think that people don't even feel like business cards are necessary. And I'm going to tell you, even though there's all these great apps, right? Scan this QR code. I'm sorry, there's multiple apps, and somebody has to have the app a lot of times in order to scan the thing.
Right.
And you spend half the time trying to just do the thing when, for a very, very low cost, you can have business cards printed. And that they should be with you at all times. If you're at the supermarket, if you are at the hairdressers, if you are at a football game with your kids, whatever, you should have business cards with you.
Yes.
And one of the things that I remember you and I talked about a long, long time ago is how you present your business
Yes.
card. So something I've always believed in, so this is my current business card. I don't know if we can go over here. So look, there's some elements to it. It's got like a little gloss to it. And it's got a velvety matte texture.
coating.
Although I have greasy fingers, so there's like a spot on it.
Should
But
have been eating
anyway,
those country ribs before the show.
I know. Finger licking good. But I have always believed that putting your logo on the back of your card and not junking it up is a great way to convey what company you're with and to cause a specific action that I want to have happen. Because if I'm trying to get your business card, I will ask you, or if I'm trying to give you my business card, I will ask you for yours. So while you're getting yours out, I have mine in my secret pocket, which is not right. I don't have any pockets here, but I'll pull it out so it's all ready, and I will present my card to you, logo first. and the person will take it from me, and what will they do? They will
They'll
flip it
over.
around. So there's like a built-in activity there.
That's right.
Now, oftentimes they've just kind of like gotten their card out and they hand it to me.
Right.
But mine has been treated with respect and care. And
You're presenting it.
I am presenting it. It is a gift to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty proud of the way that we do our business cards. But going to a lot of industry events, you get a lot of different business cards.
Yes.
And some are not so great.
Let's be honest. Some are downright terrible.
Terrible.
Like, awful.
Yes.
That's the first
Time
Congratulations.
Yeah, Evan, producer Evan finally got that right. Like when to use that. So I want to tell you about the U.S. government.
Yes. Okay.
Because we're going to go political.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we're going to go.
You know what they say? You stay away from religion and politics. Go ahead.
But
Show
I'm
me
gonna,
money.
so I'm not
What do you got here?
gonna show who these are. But I did ASTA Legislative Day.
Okay, right.
And that is where you go and you learn the issues that are important to our industry.
Put on your fancy business suit.
You go on Capitol Hill and you filibuster. So anyway, I got to meet representatives or the staffers that work for different representatives, and they all have the same card. I will say that while sometimes the government can be accused of spending money on a lot of frivolous things, they don't do it on business cards. First off, every single card from our government has different fonts and different colors. Again, I'm not showing you this because I don't want to call anybody out. They all have what I do love, and you might be able to see a little bit of it, or I can get it to shine. It all has our eagle on it. So,
very nice.
Fly like an eagle. So we got that. That is cool. But they have so much information on it. The email addresses are all different and strange. The fonts, like I said, are different. The colors are different. And there's nothing on the back. Basically, I could just use this as a scratch piece of paper to, do some sums if I wanted to do sums. So I'm going to say...
So when you do your maths, right?
The maths. That's where I do the maths. But then we have some, like I'm going to just call out Colette here. They've taken a page out of the book where, here their logo is very, very easy to see. And while we're not getting close up on the information there, they've not junked up the card.
Yeah.
It's very
It's
clear.
easy to find what you need to find.
And, sometimes it's just even bolding your name.
Right.
You might have said your name is Jason, but you said it so fast that I'm like, Joshua? And if it's because I couldn't see it on the business card. Right? What have you seen that you think are no-nos? I'm sorry, I guess.
Clip art, number one. I think that's ground rule number one. Like, don't use clip art.
So clip art being...
Or just lame stock images.
Yes. Clip
Don't
art
do
being like things that...
If it looks like you could design it in Microsoft Word, probably just going to go out on a limb and say it's not so great.
Yeah. In fact, I would say you don't have access to a graphic designer. Order business cards with nice, big, bold fonts for your name, have your information on it, but maybe get something that has a little more texture to it, like on a stronger paper.
Yeah.
So don't even worry about the logo.
That is worth, if you think about where you want to spend money on cards, and there's lots of affordable sources out there now to get really beautiful things printed with nice templates and all that. The weight of the paper, the coating of the paper, the color of the stock of the printing, those are things that it's, to me, worthwhile because they tend to have a little more staying power. Let's not kid ourselves. They're not going to, everyone you give it to is not going to put it on the refrigerator.
Right.
But, I think if you present it in a way similar to what Joshua demonstrated, and when they physically touch it, it has that tactile difference to what most people would receive. It's communicating that you are a professional. So right back to Velma's notion of creating influence. It says, your choice of business card really does send an immediate signal, both visually and what's the word? Tactilely? Whatever the word is. You got me.
Tactically. No, that doesn't.
No. Anyway,
The feel.
the feel. You have that physical sense that this person's a professional, right? And especially if you're in your early days of building out a travel business, that's probably your single best marketing expenditure, probably, because you could hand those cards out to 100 people. You're not talking about printing off thousands and thousands of these things. So that 100 that you're going to buy, spend a few cents more a piece and really make as big of an impression as you can and signal that you're a pro. If you get, if you're going to hire somebody for any kind of service and they hand you this flimsy thing that feels like, just a piece of regular paper, right? And they printed it off on their home inkjet printer, which we've seen many, many people do.
Which smudges.
And not only is it smudge, it just, you can see like the perforations on it. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're not going to hire them for anything. You're not going to hire them for an expenditure that you're going to spend, $5,000, $10,000 or maybe more. Like, come on. So this is an area where it pays to spend just a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not talking huge dollars here.
Yeah. One of my favorite companies is moo.com, MOO.com.
Yep.
That they have that nice quality, a little bigger card, and you can design your own options there. So I highly recommend that. I want to call out some companies that did very similar things. But I think did it very well. These are very upscale brands. The Phoenicia in Malta, they have the back side of the card is done with a logo, very simple information on the other side, but it's a thick card.
Yeah.
It has presence. Explora Journeys. I mean, look at that gold foil that they've used. Again, very simple information on the card. So I wanted to call those out because they feel weighty.
Right.
And if I put this in my pocket, it will actually hurt me. So I will make sure that I get their information into my CRM.
So I have a question
Sure.
for you on business cards.
Yeah.
Because we see it a lot with travel advisors. We see it a lot with realtors. What is your stance on business cards with your photo on it?
It better be a photo that looks like you right now. Kind of like how my hair color is matching my doll right now. That didn't quite happen the way I expected. No, I think photos are good.
Depends on the photo, though, right?
It does depend on the photo. I mean, I think, and also, there's headshots
Yeah.
that are like, I'm gonna be a model,
Right.
and then there's a headshot that says, hey, I'm the one that would be planning your trip.
Right.
So it really does depend on the photo. So in the chat, Bill said, I have business cards with a QR code on it that links to my website, which I do like that idea, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Bill, because one of my examples, we love Marival.
Yep.
So I'm going to say I love it, but I'm going to cover up their information, and it might be hard to see, but there we go. I'm trying to show you there. The QR code is in black, and then their logo is there in the brand colors. Do you see how the QR code overpowers their logo? So in this instance, I would say maybe the QR code should go on the back, because I don't want the QR code to be the first thing I see. So whenever you're designing something, think about the weight of it and how important it is. But I do love that you're using it. I mean, QR codes, people were like, okay, nobody's going to use these things.
Right.
And now we got used to it.
Yeah. And my 2 cents, and this is not backed by data, just personal opinion on the QR code. If you're going to use a QR code, I'm a believer that you should at least indicate simply what the prospect should expect when they visit the QR code. So if you're going to have a QR code, if it goes to your website, maybe it just says real tiny, like visit my website in the QR code. If it's going to something else, tell me where I'm going. Like why the heck do I need to click on this? Because your website is listed on your card. So what is the purpose of the QR code? Right?
Oh, so
just
subscribe to
explain
my
that to me.
newsletter.
Right. It could be
or get my new
Right.
deals.
It could
If
be
you wanna
a
look at my
group you're
doll.
promoting, and you had cards made up, right? So just have a little indicator, like what I should expect.
That's a good
Give me a
tip.
reason to go there.
That's a good tip. So maybe the business part of your card with your information stays the same.
Yeah.
Maybe the back becomes a little more promotional. I like it.
Join my mailing list. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
join my mailing list or enter to win my non-bobblehead bobblehead. Let's see. Michelle said, 100% agree about the business cards. I always love the ability to write on cards. So personally don't want both sides glossy. I write on cards that I receive, which is a tip, especially if you are at an event where you're getting lots of cards and you want to be like, oh, Jason, he likes football. That might be something I write down. So if it's glossy on both sides, I can't do that. Quality Travel said, speaking of logos, if you have not used the Design Studio, they are fabulous. Rebecca used our Design Studio to create her new logo, so thank you for that. Love it. Amy Little said, just remembered I need to order more business cards. I gave my last one away a few days ago. Ooh. Alan said, I have thick paper and rounded edges. I also have a QR code. I love a good rounded edge.
Yes.
I do love
What is your stance on odd-shaped cards? You ever get those that are not quite traditional business card shapes?
Well, so our card is more of a European style card, so it's a little bit taller. And so, I mean, I obviously like a little more room to work with, but I've seen some square ones. And I just feel like those get lost.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I put them.
Where?
Right in the garbage.
Okay.
If it doesn't match like a credit card size outline, and I can't just slip it into my little mini wallet.
Wow.
So
Yeah. I struggle sometimes. This is not a card like that, but I struggle with the ones that are done vertically.
Yes, I do too.
I get it. I get why someone has done that, but oftentimes the back is done horizontally. The front is done vertically.
Yeah.
I just feel like everything should
stick to one.
Stick to one. All right.
Good.
Let's see. And Amy said, I like to write on the card the date and event I was at so I can purge after a certain time has passed. Once I enter it into my CRM, I do a little tear and then I throw it in the garbage. I don't know why. If I'm throwing it in the garbage, I don't know why I do the little tear, but the tear to me says I have entered it. So anyway, that is our riff on business cards, and thank you guys for jumping in with your thoughts on business cards, because everybody has an opinion, and I'm telling you, I think it's underrated.
It is. With all the technology that we have, and as wonderful as it all is, business cards still get the job done. And so if you don't have them, you need to get some.
Yep. All right. Business cards done.
We're done. Let's just wrap it up there.
Wrap it up. But no, thank you guys for jumping into the chat and sharing your thoughts. And through the years we have talked about so many different things on this show, and sometimes you can get us riled up. And I think you got us riled up on. We went to the pulpit and started preaching on business cards.
Not that anyone would be interested in it, but we could sit here and talk for an hour about business cards.
Yeah.
Just some of the ones that I'm sure you've seen them too, where it's, insert travel agency name X, and it's just got these awful images that are just like the really generic, like travel images, and you're just like, you have to be memorable, right? And so even it's just like the styling of the word on your logo or whatever your logo is. Just it's got to fit your brand. It's got to be memorable. Don't just use like clip art,
Right.
like airplanes, globes.
Well, a lot of people do have that.
Well,
so
I'm here to
don't-
give you my honest opinion.
Yeah,
you
that-
can take it or leave it. You can say he's
Absolutely.
crazy, don't know what he.
But I do find it interesting that
Yeah.
not everybody is an extrovert, but you will meet somebody and their personality fills an entire building, right, when they walk in, right? And you're having this amazing conversation, and
Yeah.
you're like, hey, can I get your card?
Yeah.
And again, while they're getting their card out, I'm getting mine, getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to hand off. And then they give me this card that is underwhelming. And I'm just like, wow, that did not match your brand, because you are your brand. You live your brand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, just more to think about. But we did promise.
Yes.
We said we were going to dive deep.
Oh my gosh, it's almost.
Yeah, we were going to dive deep on business cards, and we really went deep on that. And now we want to roll down the river.
Yeah.
And we're rolling. Rolling. Do you know what? At some of the road shows, they were taking wagers on how many songs I was going to sing, which meant that I was not going to sing.
I think coming up on next week's Love Travel, Live Travel, we're gonna. So Joshua doesn't know. We're gonna set a daily over/under how many times he sings. So I'll set it somehow. I got to figure out how to do that so you don't see it.
Yeah.
But people can guess. Normally I'm pretty good. Today you've gone under. That was the first time.
Was it really?
I think so.
No, I did fly like an eagle. It was
Oh,
more,
you're right.
It was more of a
Two.
talk. It was more of a
that's
talk
two,
through.
you're right.
But we were so we wanted to talk about we
Yeah.
have done an itinerary, the romantic
Yeah.
Rhine, and I mean we didn't do it together. It wasn't
Yes.
our romantic Rhine. I just realized that. All right, help me now, please. Rescue me. Anyway, so
So, look, I am. You can come back to me for a second. I am the official, unofficial, or unofficial, official fanboy of river cruising,
you are,
and
I
it
swear.
is my mission in life to see that form of travel thrive and expand, particularly in the demographic of my generation and younger. Because from the first time I went on a river cruise, and this is now like maybe 6-7 years ago, certainly at that time the stereotype was firmly that, hey, this is a 65 and up activity.
Okay.
Right? And I think we've seen that change a bit over the last 5 years. I think you're seeing far more people who are under 65. Why? Because it's a fantastic way to travel. So we just wanted to highlight a very common itinerary. If you're into river cruising, you probably know this. If you're not, though, this is an itinerary that you can recommend to any first-time river cruiser. It is to me the river cruising 101 itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
So, as Joshua mentioned, we did an itinerary almost identical to this one. There's a few nuances or a few differences, but we just want to highlight it for you. And if you're not offering river cruises to your customers, this is something that you can share to them. So this is an itinerary from Alma Waterways.
We
It
love
is
Alma.
their captivating Rhine. It runs from Amsterdam, Netherlands to Basel, Switzerland, also vice versa. So depending on the date you depart. So let's just run through this itinerary really quickly. So you start in Amsterdam, right? You arrive day one. And my first surprise when doing this itinerary, Joshua, I don't know if you
Yeah.
felt the same way. I was expecting, get off the airplane, go to the ship, and we go somewhere.
Right.
But you do not.
No, you don't.
You stay overnight on the ship. And I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to see Amsterdam. And I'm like maybe the world's worst traveler because I didn't even really look at the itinerary before I went.
Yeah.
Because it was for an event.
Yeah. That's how I am too. So
I know. If I was booking it for myself.
Yeah,
and-
I
and-
would be more involved.
Right. I would know that. But so I was very happy to see that I didn't miss Amsterdam. So you check in onto the ship, and you spend the night there. And then the next day, day 2, you have a full day tour of Amsterdam.
Yep.
What was your impression of Amsterdam?
Oh, it was beautiful. It wasn't necessarily what I expected at all. I don't know
Right.
what my idea was, but to be able to do a canal cruise and really just get to see
Yeah.
Amsterdam like that was, I mean, I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
On my river cruise, I wasn't
Right.
expecting my canal tour.
Right. So the Amsterdam's a really cool spot, and it's a great place to encourage your clients to do a pre or post, depending on which way the cruise is going. Because there's lots of things to see in Amsterdam, and you can easily spend 2 or 3 days there.
Yeah, and Alan, who's in the audience right now, he did teach me that you can also make a wrong turn in Amsterdam and end up in an area of seeing things that you might not want to see. So be mindful of, there's lots of surprises around every corner.
Wonders for all ages and tastes. So once you do leave Amsterdam, we won't spend too long on this. Day 3 on the Captivating Rhine with Amma, you come to Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf.
Now, on our itinerary, the one we did, they've changed it since we did it. We went to Cologne. Now, Cologne is fairly close, so you can take an optional day trip to Cologne instead. But if you go to Dusseldorf, there are quite a lot of things to see. And you have the opportunity to go out and do a walking tour. It's pretty much the case in every city. You can also do an alt beer tasting, which is like the Alsatian kind of beer. And then you can also do a bike tour. So that's a choice. Or a day trip to Cologne like we did.
Yeah. I tried the bike tour on one river cruise, and I just won't do it. It's not the same as when you're a teenager riding a bike.
That's right. Now, day 4, Cologne is cool. I remember Cologne we had a nice visit through the downtown. You can see the cathedral there on the screen. And then my father was with us that time, and we just spent the rest of the afternoon before the ship sailed drinking some of the local beer. So we just had a nice time visiting. But day 4.
You know what? I
yeah.
just realized that
What?
we were on the Rhine
Yes.
at 2 separate times. So I thought we did it together, and we didn't.
You're right.
So when you just said yep.
You're right. That's not the one we were on together.
Yeah.
Who knew? But day 4.
But your dad was on both of them. I'm just.
Well, that's a little strange, isn't it?
It is
All right.
strange.
Day 4 gets to my absolute favorite river cruise port. Or
Okay.
City. And that is Rudesheim.
Rudesheim.
And Rudesheim, if you've never been there, is like this little storybook town. Not quite as storybook as Strasbourg, which you'll see later in this itinerary, but Rudesheim, there's a mountain or a big hill that overlooks the town. You can take a gondola up to the top, and there's vineyards along this hill, and you kind of look out over the valley. And the Rhine is in the middle, and Rudesheim's here, and there's another city across the river. And there's a little museum in town where you go and you can do a tour of they make music boxes and clocks and stuff. So they make basically all those mechanical musical instruments. It's a cute little museum. I didn't have high expectations, but it's pretty cool. But the best part about Rudesheim are these little alleyways that have a bunch of shops and a bunch of little restaurants that have kind of like covered garden outdoor seating.
Okay.
But they're covered. So even if it's kind of a rainy day or drizzly day, you can sit and there's lots of great food and drinks, and it's just a great time. And it's just such a cute city.
Yeah.
Did you like Rudesheim?
Did
you visit Rudesheim?
but-
You did.
Yeah. No, I did.
Yeah, okay.
We did. Yeah. It was just a different experience, right? Because I was not with you. But anyway. Mountain high, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river
See?
wide.
He's a
and
late charge on the
big.
over-under.
Yeah.
So day five, moving
Okay.
on, we go to Ludwigshafen. Now here, The real attraction is not Ludwigshafen. It is Heidelberg. So you get on a coach.
Heidelberg.
You get on a coach, and you can spend the day in Heidelberg and see Heidelberg Castle. And at the Heidelberg Castle, they have the Great Vat. Do you remember the Great Vat? Did you see the Great Vat? It's this wine cask that's like the size of a cruise ship. It's just massive.
I
You missed that one.
I missed
Yeah.
that one.
So Heidelberg's a
I
cool
missed
little
the
town.
Great Vat.
The Great Vat. That's a cool little town. You can also do a day hike, or there's another excursion you can go to a different city called Speyer, which is kind of cool. Then we come to day 6. So we're going quick through our journey down the Rhine here. But day 6, we get to Strasbourg. So most of this has been through Germany.
Now we're in
Strasbourg's on the other side of the river, on the French side, and Strasbourg is this they call it the Beauty and the Beast town, right? It's kind of what Beauty and the Beast was modeled after.
Okay.
And there's this little part of the town they call the La Petite France district, which it's really just kind of all these cute little cottages and all that. It's adorable. If any town is adorable, Strasbourg's adorable.
Yeah.
But there's these little, kind of rivers and canals that run through the town, and it's got that quintessential, you get that French kind of bakery thing going on. So, as you're going through the Rhine and seeing all this picturesque scenery, you're seeing castles and things like that. Now you're getting a little bit of the French side. So it's a great just kind of combination.
And what I saw in
Yes.
Strasbourg that stood out to me was on the top of these small cottages, storks had built their nest.
Yes.
Which storks are not small, and these nests are massive. And I mean, they could take down a roof, these nests. So I can see why they could like carry babies when someone has a newborn. Yeah, so storks, I wasn't expecting that.
So then we're moving fast on our quick 1-week itinerary here, but we come to Breezac the last day, and here you have a number of choices. You can do a Black Forest village visit. You can do a Black Forest hike. You can take a day trip to Colmar, which is another city that's in France, but it's not too far of a coach ride. So there's a lot of cool little things, and that's one of the great things I think about river cruising in general is pretty much every stop you have 2, 3, 4, 5 choices of things you want to do.
Right.
And it's very much unlike an ocean cruise where you have to buy the excursions, months ahead of time. Oh, it's sold out, $69, $89 a person.
Right.
Before you know it, you spend $2,000 on excursions. These, most of the time, most of them are included. The ones that aren't are it's a pretty small charge by comparison. And I've never encountered it where you couldn't get on the excursion that you want.
Right.
So it's not this high pressure thing. It's like, oh, what do you want to do today? And you go with your traveling party or people you've met on the boat, and go have a great time.
Yeah.
And so right now, this itinerary, River Cruise 101, the sailing on February 25th, $18.50 a person. That's a great deal.
That is a great deal.
It's a great deal. It's a little chilly,
Right.
but great deal. Prime season, you're looking at $4,000 to $4,300 a person.
Okay.
My favorite time to travel on these is kind of that late fall. It's a little
Okay.
cooler, less crowded. You're looking at $2,500, $2,900, depending on the date. So it's kind of still nice weather, and not too cold. But if you have clients who want to see Europe, maybe like cruising, this is a good product to offer them.
Well,
I know that was fast, but
it was fast, and we definitely went way over in time, but I think it was well worth it. But the thing that you missed
yes,
is going on this itinerary. You go
Yes.
through the Rhine Gorge,
yes,
and the Rhine Gorge is so many castles. I mean,
didn't
you
even
have-
talk about that, did I?
Yeah,
Oh my
so many
goodness.
castles that I'm sorry, I didn't realize that we were over at this camera. Sorry, so many castles, and it's a period of time that everybody gets up on the top of the deck, especially if the weather is nice, and the director is telling you, look over to the right, look over to the left. So I mean, it's like an hour or so where you're just seeing castles
Castle,
everywhere. In fact, I watched the sun rise on that portion before we got to the part where they were going to do the guided tour, and there were still castles, and it was just beautiful to see. So that was coming from Amsterdam going down to Basel, but that is something very, very unique to behold. So anyway, so I hope you enjoyed Jason's guided tour of the Rhine river cruise on Amma, and definitely check that out. And a lot of river cruise lines go down and up the Rhine, so check them out. But we have definitely taken a lot of your time, and thank you for sticking with us. I hope you had a good time. Please let us know in the chat. We will settle on who the winner is and let you know in the chat when we have that done.
We'll get it squared away.
Yeah, but it was great doing another show with you.
It's always fun.
Oh, we had a great time doing a show with you. So until next time, take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. We'll see you guys next week.
Gonna haunt me in my sleep. Love y'all.